Welcome back. It's the 2015 year 2015 in review, the twists and the turns, live here on Channels Television. You can join the conversation by tweeting at us. The hashtag is hashtag 2015 last picks. You can also tweet directly at us. It's at Emana Amawe and
at Gimba 003 as well. Remember, it's the last day of the year 2015, so we want to take you through it into the new year 2016, and we just want to make you feel the major points and remember the highest points that came out in politics, in the economy, in sports. So we're going to be having all that. Also, much later, it's a bumper package, and we'll be getting you to get all the goodies from that.
Things that affected every one of us, every Nigerian directly. Well, Nigeria's lawmakers contributed in no small measure to the unfolding political drama. It all began with the election of the National Assembly's leadership when Dr. Bukola Saraki was elected as Senate President. He was returned by 57 lawmakers.
Of 51 senators, mostly from his party, the APC, were absent from the session. However, according to the Senate rules, a quorum is formed by 38 lawmakers, which was significant to Cummins' proceedings. And not long after, the federal lawmakers found themselves in the eye of the storm over their harmonious wages and their humongous wages and emoluments. This followed the publication of the salaries and allowances of the lawmakers by Premium Times, an online newspaper detailing the amount earned by National Assembly members. On a global scale, Nigerian lawmakers are also reported to be amongst the highest earners in the world. In our next report, correspondent Charles Eruka examines the figures of earnings of federal lawmakers in the light of the impact on the nation's economy.
On July the 10th, President Muhammadu Buhari announced that he would be taking a massive 50% cut of his 14,058,820 naira annual salary. The Vice President Yemi Osinbajo also toed the same line, accepting to take only half of his official annual remuneration as well. However, it appears it is the earnings of the country's federal lawmakers that have set tongues wagging. Over time, various figures have appeared on both social and traditional media, but it is the breakdown recently published by online publication Premium Times that appears to be stirring the hornet's nest. The medium attributes its figures to the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission. An analysis of the figures estimates that the annual remuneration of each of the 360 members of the House of Representatives amounts to 18.26 million naira. Each of the 109 senators is said to earn 19.66 million naira per annum. A breakdown of the figures reveals that the annual basic salary of each senator is 2.03 million naira, while his counterpart in the House of Representatives earns 1.99 million naira. Now that is the tip of the iceberg, considering sundry other allowances earned by the lawmakers. Some of these include furniture allowance, which is 150% of basic salary, accommodation allowance 150%, constituency allowance 125% for a senator and 75% for a House of Representatives member, and motor vehicle, fueling and maintenance 50%, wardrobe and utilities 25% each, while newspaper and recess allowances 10% each of basic salary. Everything put together, the grand total of the National Assembly's annual wage bill amounts to a princely 7.79 billion naira annually, with senators accounting for 1.92 billion naira and the House of Representatives 8.57 billion naira.
Our lawmakers' pay is huge and excessive and unnecessary, and especially given our economy, given the poverty, the widespread poverty in our country, given the challenges we are facing, given their productivity. For instance, since they were inaugurated, you can count on your fingers how many times they've sat. No committees in place, they're doing nothing. It's one recess after the other. So we really don't think that they deserve what they earn.
However, a former senator insists that the National Assembly does not determine the humongous amounts earned by the lawmakers.
The National Assembly members, senators and House of Representatives members do not fix whatever, amount, whether salaries or emoluments due to. They do not.
Who fixes it?
Is a national, the Revenue Allocation, Mobilization and Fiscal Commission. That is a body. That's a body constitutionally empowered, because we need to correct the impression as if members, whether in the House of Representatives or in the Senate, they fix this amount for themselves. No.
Even on a global scale, Nigerian lawmakers compare very favorably to the highest earning lawmakers, with a Nigerian earning $189,000 per annum, second only to Australia with $201,000 per annum, but ahead of Italy and the US at $182,000 and $174,000 annually, respectively. Now that's far ahead of South African lawmakers at $105,000 or British members of parliament at $104,000 per annum. By comparison, a circular released by the National Salaries, Incomes and Wages Commission in 2013 shows that the minimum wage for a Nigerian public servant is a mere 242,000 naira per annum. Taking into consideration economic factors like the gross domestic product and compared with the annual budgets of government ministries and parastatals, the remunerations of federal legislators alone would naturally constitute a more than decent burden for the nation's economy in the long run. Charles Aruka for Channels Television News.
Interesting, but after making an appearance at the tribunal, Dr. Saraki said that he was being hounded by those who are not in support of his rise to the position of the Senate President.
The Senate President, Senator Bukola Saraki, finally made an appearance at the resumed seating of the Code of Conduct Tribunal to answer charges of false declaration leveled against him by the Code of Conduct Bureau. Attempts by lawyers to the Senate President, Senator Saraki, to prevent his arraignment again provoked an exchange of legal fireworks as the prosecutor accused the defense team of trying to frustrate his trial.
The provision of this Act, that is the Administration of Criminal Justice Act, shall apply to criminal trial for offences established by an Act of National Assembly or other offences punishable in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. So, my lord, that Act on its own said any court, administrative criminal justice system in Abuja should apply it. It says so. And the only exception is the subsection 2. Say the provision of this Act shall not apply only to court martial. So it's only court martial that say no, we cannot apply it. My lord, your lordship ruling yesterday, a party cannot come and say she will revisit your ruling of yesterday. I'm not agree with it. Reopen argument. That is what the Legal Council has done this morning.
The Code of Conduct Tribunal is never conceived as a court by the Constitution, and no legislation of the National Assembly can empower it to act as a court or dress it with judicial powers, which are only meant to be exercised by the courts created by Section 6 of the Constitution. This conclusion has solved most of the nagging problems yet to be answered in this case. Since the Code of Conduct Tribunal is not a court and has no power of criminal trial, it cannot issue any warrant for the arrest or imprisonment of a person under any guise. In fact, the power given to the tribunal under paragraph 18 of the 5th schedule of the Constitution does not extend to ordering the arrest or detention of any person who contravenes the Code of Conduct.
The legal battle to have the Senate President docked for alleged false declaration of assets was finally laid to rest as the chairman of the tribunal ruled against the defense team, as Senator Saraki pleaded not guilty to all the charges.
Not guilty.
The prosecutor opened his case by denouncing the Senate President's claims of not being aware of the charges preferred against him.
After the plea of not guilty has been taken, or no plea has been made, the prosecutor may open the case against the defendant, stating shortly by what evidence he intends to prove the guilt of the defendant. Yes. So, my lord, that is what I'm expected to do, and also under your lordship's the rules of this court, apart from admission of criminal justice law. Yes. I intend to discharge my duty by stating briefly the evidence I want to call.
The defense team, however, opposed the opening of trial, saying the 1999 Constitution provides a platform for accused persons to be given adequate time to prepare for their defense.
Section 36(6)(b) says, every person who is charged with a criminal offense shall be entitled to be given adequate time and facilities for the preparation of his defense. He told the tribunal that he was just coming across these charges for the first time. Jacob will tarry a while. Let the Constitution, let him be given adequate time and facilities to brief and instruct his legal team.
The tribunal chairman granted the Senate President's bail on self-recognition and adjourned trial to commence from October 21st, 2015.